What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another important psychology video, and in this video we are going to be covering what we need to cover so you stop failing over and over again. Now, whether you've been trading for a long time or you started a few weeks ago or you've been trading for a couple of months, there are some things that we all do psychologically that negatively affect us on the charts. So here is what we're going to cover in this video. Number one, don't let your emotions force you to take action, right? Fuck your feelings. Number two, the more pain you endure, the more profitable you become. Lessons learned. Number three, stop letting losses affect you. Get off the charts. Number four, you're the only person standing in the way of your success. Stop doing it and become profitable. And number five, how to reprogram your brain to force yourself to profitability. Now, this video is probably going to be a little bit of a longer video because we do have a lot to cover, but this is extremely important stuff that you need to understand. So if you've never gotten a payout, you can get a payout faster, or maybe you've just been failing for so long and you don't think this is going to work for you. In this video, I'm going to reprogram your entire brain so everything fucking works for you, because everybody fails and fails and fails. And at the end of the day, it's not the strategy that's making them fail, it's their psychology. So with that being said, let's get into the first bullet point, right? Don't let your emotions force you to take action. Fuck your feelings. Okay, there are a lot of traders that I know that feel sad after taking a loss. They get depressed for the whole day, or they're in profit and they want to secure profits, so they go ahead and close the position while they're in profit instead of letting them hit the TP, right? By letting your emotions control you, you are quite literally giving all of your voice of logic away to the market. And I promise you, 10 times out of 10, the market is going to humble you and the market is going to take it back from you. You cannot, as a grown man or grown woman, let your emotions force you to take action. I promise you this is a mistake and you are fucking yourself over every time you let this happen. Okay? I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it time and time again because it's so common. Fuck your feelings. It doesn't matter if you feel bad after taking a loss. It doesn't matter if you get that sense to revenge trade, if you get that sense to enter another trade. It does not matter. The only thing that matters is doing what you're supposed to be doing. And by giving your emotions power, you are literally giving away all of the advantage that you have on the market. You're acting like a little kid. You're not a little kid, right? We're not in this to feel sad about a trade all day and then go ahead and trade more because of that. It's perfectly fine to feel sad after taking a loss. It's perfectly fine to get the urge to revenge trade, but you cannot let that affect you on the charts, because I promise you it will fuck you over every single time. Every single time. You cannot give your emotions power. You're a grown man, right? You're a grown man or a grown woman. You cannot give your emotions power, okay? The more pain you endure, the more profitable you become. Okay, so there's this thing that happens to a lot of new traders where they get stuck in evaluation jail, right? And in this evaluation jail, they fail and blow account after account after account, and they learn all of these lessons. They learn all of these lessons and they feel so sad because they're just not understanding it. Well, would you rather learn those lessons now when you're still trading fake money? Or would you rather learn those lessons when you're trading 10, 150K accounts and they're all funded, right? How bad would that feel, blowing your account when you blow 10 accounts and they're all funded? So if you're in that trial period during your evaluation account, right, where you just feel like you're not moving on, take all of those lessons that you're learning and bring them with you and actually fucking learn them, right? Last week, I lost 32K in 2 days, okay? I sized down now. I'm trading with one mini. I was trading with two minis before on my 150K accounts, okay? Today, for example, I took a trade after 10:30, right, with my Discord, and the trade hit the stop. Now I'm not trading after 10:30. Before, my rules were 11. Now it's 10:30. But you see how I'm learning from my losses and I'm taking those lessons with me. You can learn so much from your mistakes, but you choose to remain unprofitable and you choose to say things like, I didn't deserve that loss, or the PA was bad today, so I didn't deserve this, or I'm just unlucky. You choose to do that instead of sitting down, taking accountability, and learning from your mistakes and moving on. Because at the end of the day, the more lessons you can learn, the more profitable you are going to become. And that's 100% true. You should think of your brain as a library for mistakes and lessons learned, right? The more you do that, the less emotional you get after taking a loss, the less emotional you get when you make a mistake on the chart, because you realize that these feelings, these lessons can actually help you going forward. Instead of playing this victim, you're not a victim. Instead of learning these lessons, you choose to be like, oh, I didn't deserve that loss. I'm so sad, I'm unprofitable. I keep closing my trades in profit. What does that do for you? What does that do for you? That does nothing for you, okay? Next lesson. Stop letting losses affect you, okay? Get off the charts. You are a short-term thinker, meaning that when you take a loss, you don't see it as payback to the game. You see it as, oh my God, I'm red for the day. I'm not going to make any money. I need to end this day green or else I'm fucked, right? You are letting losses affect you. You can't walk away. So imagine this scenario, right? Imagine you take a loss for $1,000. You're on a 50K account, right? You take a loss for $1,000 and you have $1,000 of drawdown left. And instead of getting off the charts because you know how to take a loss, right? Instead of getting off the charts and trading the next day on an A+ setup and making that $1,000 back, potentially making that $1,000 back, what you do is you take another terrible trade. And what happens? You blow your account. And by this happening over and over and over again, you think trading doesn't work. But in reality, you can't handle taking a loss and you're blowing accounts because of it, time after time after time. Because you refuse to take a loss, because you refuse to learn your lesson, you keep trading and it fucks you over every single time. And until you stop doing that, you are going to remain unprofitable. You are going to keep blowing accounts. You need to find peace with taking losses. If you take 10 losses, that 11th loss is going to mean nothing. If you take 10 wins, that 11th win is going to mean nothing. But if every single time you take a loss, you try to make it back, you are going to lose inevitably. You are going to stay being affected by these losses because you've never once just taken a loss and gotten off. And that's the problem with most of you traders, right? Is that you take a loss and you literally can't handle it. Like, it makes you feel something and then you act on that emotion, which is exactly what I just told you not to do here. Don't let your emotions force you to take action, right? The more pain you endure, the more profitable you become. It's all connected. Okay, so what you do is you take a loss. You don't know how to handle taking that loss because that loss affects you. And then you let that emotion of not being able to handle that loss force you to take another trade, right? This is why it's so important. Like, get off the charts, stop letting losses affect you, and fuck your feelings, bro. Okay, you're sad about a loss. That's fine. But don't let that force you to take another trade, because what's it going to end with? It's going to end with you blowing your account every single time. It's all connected, bro. That's what everybody gets wrong about trading. Everybody is looking for a strategy. Everybody's looking for one solution, when at the end of the day, 100% of the game is your psychology. All of these things are connected. All of them. All of these things are connected. Every single one is connected. Okay? So let's move on. Okay? And this is the most important thing. How to reprogram your brain to force yourself into profitability. Okay? Your brain needs reprogramming. You need to stop letting losses affect you. You need to stop letting emotions force you to take action. And you need to realize that this is a long-term game. And if you do all of these things, I promise you, you'll become profitable. Because instead of taking that revenge trade, instead of emotional trading, when you take that loss, you'll close the chart. And that act of closing the chart will compound, because now whenever you take a loss, you're good. You are fine. You enjoy the rest of your day. Instead of blowing your account, you're $1,000 in drawdown. That's one good trade. That's literally one good trade. That's what you need to realize. That is one good trade. So I just really want you to realize all of this is connected. Okay, what you do is you take a loss, it affects you, you feel sad, you feel mad, so you let your emotions force you to take action. Instead of learning the lesson, right? Instead of learning the lesson, oh my God, I completely missed this one. I completely missed you're the only person standing in the way of your success, right? But that's entirely connected to everything I'm saying in this video. You see how you're the only person standing in the way of your success, right? You need to get out of the way. You need to get out of the way. You need to learn how to handle losses. You need to learn how to say fuck your feelings and stop letting your emotions force you to take action, because I promise you, the longer you do that, the longer you're going to remain unprofitable. It's impossible to become consistently profitable with a bad mindset. It's impossible. What you do is you refuse to learn these lessons because for some reason you feel like you're over it all. You feel like you're better than it. You feel like you're better than the market. You feel like you deserve to win. And by doing that, you give yourself these excuses for taking more trades. You give yourself these excuses for, oh, 6 months have passed. I'm in the same position as I was 6 months ago, but this is going to work out. You're delusional. You're delusional, and it's not the good delusion. It's the bad delusion, because you're not changing anything. You need to become a different person if you want to become a profitable trader. It's impossible to become profitable with a loser mindset. With a loser mindset, doing this shit, right? Letting your emotions force you to take action, letting losses get to you, right? Doing all this shit, refusing to learn lessons, doing all that is some little kid shit. And you still refuse to learn from it. It's like, how many more accounts are you going to blow? How much more hardship do you have to go through before you learn the lesson? Like, you have to realize, and this is part of the reprogramming your brain, you have to realize that this game is you versus you. There is nobody else executing on the chart. You are the only person executing on the chart. You are the only person holding yourself accountable. You need to reprogram your brain. You need to stop letting your emotions control you. You need to stop getting affected by losses, or else you're going to remain unprofitable. Okay, so how to reprogram your brain. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do some intrinsic journaling. I don't give a fuck about you journaling your trades. I don't care if you journal your trades. Journal for yourself. Find what you're upset with that makes you feel like you need to make this money now. Maybe it's your financial situation currently. Maybe you're in college and you hate it. Maybe you hate your friend group. Maybe you want to move out of your hometown. You need to find what's forcing you to feel like you need this money in the short term, because this is not a short-term game, and this short-term thinking is causing all of this that I just described to you. It's causing all of this to happen, okay? This short-term thinking is causing you to let your emotions force you to take action. It's causing you to get affected by losses. Okay, it's causing you to stand in the way of your success because you're letting losses get to you and you're taking trades because of it. Okay, it's causing you to avoid these lessons. Okay, you need to find what is making you feel like you need to make this money now. You need to find that, and then you need to fix it. And once you fix that, these losses will not affect you anymore. I promise you, if you learn how to take a loss, if you learn how to see that it hits your stop and get off, you will become profitable, right? You fall into the trap of taking a loss, feeling bad about it, and then letting that bad feeling force you to take another trade, or force you to take your first trade and close it in profit, right? If you want to reprogram your brain, you need to do the work required. You need to start journaling and just find what's forcing you to have this short-term thinking. You need to actually exercise taking a loss and closing the chart, because I promise you, if you do it 50 times, it's going to be easy. But you've never done it once. So obviously it's hard. Okay? You need to focus on feeling an emotion and sitting on your hands. Okay? If you're sad about taking a loss, go for a walk. Hang out with your friends. Do whatever you need to do. But don't let that sadness force you to hop back on the chart and trade. Don't feel like you deserve to take a win, because you don't. You don't deserve to take a win. Okay? You need to focus on reprogramming your brain. That is the number one fucking thing. Get comfortable taking losses and sit on your hands when you feel some sort of way about it. That is literally how to stop standing in the way of yourself. Right here, it says you're the only person standing in the way of your success. Stop doing it, become profitable. Right? The only way to stop standing in the way of your success is by practicing. Is not by doing the same thing over and over and over again in a fucking spiral until you end up with 100 accounts blown and nothing to show for yourself. Okay? So this reprogramming is a long road, but the sooner you start exercising your brain, the sooner you start doing these things that I'm telling you, is the sooner you will actually start following your rules, getting payouts, becoming consistently profitable. That is the only way. Because if you're doing what you're doing now, that is how you're training your brain to trade. You're training your brain to get emotional when you take a loss and take another trade. And then get emotional again, take another trade. And then blow an account and then buy a new account, right? It is so incredibly peaceful. It is so incredibly peaceful when you're at peace with taking a win or a loss. When a loss affects you just as much as a win does. That is so peaceful, and I want all of you to experience that, but you will only experience that if you actually do what I say and practice this skill of sitting on your hands. Okay? It's way harder than it seems, but it's 100% true, and it's 100% possible for you. Some guy in my Discord, TBK, he started trading 4 or 5 months ago. He just got his first payout. He was gonna quit like 3 times because he would almost get funded, blow the whole account. Almost get funded, blow the whole account. Pass the eval, blow the account. Fail the eval. He got his first payout yesterday. Because he reprogrammed his brain. He's a completely different trader than he was. He does not dwell on his losses. He does not let his emotions cause him to take action. He's perfectly fine with taking a loss and closing the computer now. It's possible to reprogram your brain. You just need to try. But 99% of you are not willing to try because you're so caught up in making money. If only you knew that the money is not coming unless you do this. So stop letting emotions affect you. Fucking stop standing in your own way. And stop making the same mistakes over and over again and learn from them, because that is the most important thing. Fuck your feelings, dude. If you're gonna take a loss and overtrade from it and you feel guilty after it, don't do it again. You feel like shit about it. Why do you keep doing it? It's like an addiction. It's stupid. So take everything I said in this video, hopefully you are taking notes, and do it all. Practice taking losses. Practice not acting on your emotions. Practice all of these things, and I promise you, after 50 times of doing this, you are going to get that payout. And you are going to see consistent profitability, but only if you put in the psychological work. Psychology is 100% of the game. And trading is way deeper than anybody thinks online. Everybody's trying to find the perfect strategy. Your strategy does not mean shit if you can't handle your psych. And that is 1,000% true. So with that being said, that concludes today's video. No trade recap today. I went 0 for 2 on the day. Bad day. If you're in the Discord, you know what I took. If you want to join the Discord, I make presentations just like this. We do 2 Q&As every week. I have a whole course with a whole psychology section and my strategy section, everything. So you can join. Link is in the description below. And with that being said, subscribe if you feel like it. If this helped you in any way, shape, or form, let me know in the comments. I read all of my comments. So with that being said, Have a good one. Subscribe if you feel like it. Follow me on all my other socials if you want. And peace out.